It's 2010, and there are some really awesome things about living right now. I've got appliances in my house that talk to each other. I mean, there's a space station orbiting the Earth with people living on it right now. I mean, we have a good idea of, how we got to be how we are and where we came from. And we've mapped the human genome, and we've articulated our DNA. We've wiped out a good portion of viruses and disease that plague our species. We have instant information at our fingertips. We have lived the easiest life of any of our ancestors. As a child of the 80s and 90s, a true blue member of Generation X, I have the unique advantage of knowing what it's like to stand by the wall and talk on the telephone, and now to have one tethered to me, whenever and wherever I'm at, I remember when the internet was brand new, and but I also remember when I had to do a search. It involved a card catalog and the Dewey Decimal System. So no, things aren't exactly like I had hoped. We're getting better at being human all the time, but there's some things that are holding us back from our future. And the promise of our race surviving. I mean, we're still dependent on fossil fuel. We still let our racial bias and ignorance control us at times. We live very much on emotion and feeling, which is what we are. But I believe that our mind, the ability that we have to think, transcends the emotion, and we should be able to function separate. But I believe the most undeniable thing that's holding us back is religion. Now, some of you might be saying that's a bold statement, but, I believe it's easy to figure out with common sense. I mean, the easiest example would be 9/11. That was a faith-based exercise in, just how harmful any religion can be. I mean, look at the Crusades and the witch hunts and the burning of people at the stake, and along with what's happening today, Dr. Tiller, and the abortion clinics being bombed, and the Holocaust museum shooter, the DC snipers, proving that religion in any form is not conducive to society. I mean, look at the Texas school board. I mean, where they're trying to shove religion into the place of science. By uneducated and, quite frankly, ignorant people who think only that people like this ass, have the answers. Like I said, we wiped out a good portion of virus and disease, that's plagued our species, and we continue to advance on the ones that we haven't every day. But there are still children dying because parents choose to pray instead of taking their damn kid to the hospital. As a parent, this just makes me sick, and I think they should be charged with murder and given life in prison. And don't even get me started with the pedophile priests and gay-bashing hypocrites. But the icing on the cake is the Pope. The former Pope, John Paul II, thought he was a real bad boy and would whip himself. To make God happy and rebuke the sins of the flesh, or maybe he got off on it. But either way you slice it, that's batshit crazy. Every time we try to move forward as humans, there is always some jackass waving a Bible or some other piece of holy shit in one hand and a weapon in the other. It's that simple to see that just how harmful religion is to our species.